Hi, good people. Hi, TIs. It's Sherry. And I am here with some free and valuable information for you to help you benefit yourself as well as others. Okay, so what am I going to be talking about just for a brief moment today? Something simple, actually. Um, throughout my experience being a targeted individual, it is basically bullying and attempt at sabotage and harassment and surveillance. It's a very hard life to live sometimes. I'm blessed and I try not to complain, but it can be very hard at times. Okay, so that being said, I'm heading off to work. Okay, and I don't mind. I enjoy working. Especially now that I'm kind of used to what I do. It's pleasant, and I always did like it. That's why I did it. So I continue to do it. Um, One thing though, and I want to talk about this more in detail, but as I go off to work today and I'm feeling good, I'm contributing, the things that make us happy as humans. So I'm grateful and I'm blessed. And I'm also kind of, I'm a little disappointed because the fact that I was going for my degree at one point, which was going to like triple my income. Not that I had a desire to be rich. I don't make that much. So doubling it. Okay. So going from like, I don't know, 30,000 a year to 60 or 50, more like 50. Okay. 55, enough to live on and be single and do whatever it is you need to do, not live in luxury by any means, but stable. Okay, that's what I was trying to achieve, and I did it. What I thought I was pursuing, what I thought was the American dream. Okay, go to school, and I didn't go to a big expensive one. I went to a community college. Go to school, get a little degree, and get certified. And and have a better life. Okay, but the way it happened when I got kind of sabotaged on my clinicals is that I didn't get to finish school. Actually, I didn't get to finish, well, I finished school, but I didn't finish that degree. So it was kind of like a way to, well, not kind of, it was a way to hurt me and to sabotage my career financially. I'll get more into it. I'll actually tell you. So in case you guys go through this, okay? Because today, again, this is puzzles, right? I'm Sherry. I'm a targeted individual and I speak about my experiences as a targeted individual. So that's what we're talking about today. That's what this is. Okay. And for TIs, you guys already know the story. For new people, hi, you're welcome to stay. If this is a little bit over your head, that's okay. But basically, I'm talking about an experience being bullied and harassed, but on a community scale. Okay. So as I sit here and like I said, I get ready to go to work and I'm pretty satisfied and I'm pretty, I'm okay. But I just think to myself, I can't help but think, what if I were making double? What doors would that open in my life if I were making double my income? Again, it's not all about money. However, we live in a world where we need currency, money to survive. It's a form of safety. You know, Not that I'm not blessed and I have everything that I need, most things that I need. Okay, but like for instance, a vehicle. I don't have a vehicle, right? And that's funny because I've driven my whole life. So stuff like that kind of bums you out. Like I'm working, but I don't have a vehicle. Um, you know, I don't own my whole. Which okay. We're not going to go into I don't have this, I don't have. But I'm saying I took the steps that I needed to take to remedy the situation. What I was told, okay, you're poor, well, here's how you remedy it. You go to school, you pay attention, you focus, you go to class, you get decent grades, and you graduate and you do a good job, and you won't be in poverty. Okay? You won't be living in the lap of luxury, but you can at least live a decent life. That's what I was doing. Okay? So, going to work making half of what I would have been making, it's kind of sad because I could have worked less, less hours because I have to work long hours, to make even half of what I would have been making. And I think about it. I could have been working less hours and making more, which means I would have been able to do other things as far as like volunteer things or just, for myself and for the community, I'd have been able to do more. So it frustrates me that somebody would take it upon themselves to do that to me, and it was purposely plotted and done. So, um, so yeah. So I guess that's where I'm at. So as I go today to go to work, I'll do a good job as always. There's this is my job and I enjoy it and I do it well. No reason to skimp on it. Um, But you look at something like that and you wonder how people can do that to another person. To take my career in their hands, to take my life and decide to do it. You know what I mean? To purposely try to mess it up. To me it says a lot of jealousy, and a lot of ill will. Like, wow, you feel that strongly about the whole thing? Really? Very sad. So, um, and I guess there's always people, as my narcissistic mother would say, it could always be worse. Yeah, it could. But it could always be a little better, too. Because I know there are people, women my age, that, like I said, I wasn't trying to live in no lap of luxury here, being reasonable, you know, um, just wanted a little bit of a boost, especially now with the economy, like, it's how much more so it's important to be able to provide for oneself and, to have a career. But, you know, what you gonna do? So that's all. I just, it kind of, like I said, discourages me a little bit when I go to work now, because it's like, oh well, I'm working longer hours for less when I could have been, working less hours, making more. Let me think. Which one would I want to do? Not that I'm lazy. I like to do things. Just, and if you notice, the very rich, and I mean, that's not us, obviously, but the people who have money, and even like I think the original how it was supposed to be, like farming and all that, people don't work like 40-hour work weeks. You know what I mean? People who have money, and how it was originally meant to be. Human beings are not meant to work that much, which is fine. It is. What's the Whitney Houston song, you guys? It's not right, but it's okay. I'm gonna make it anyways. So, um, yeah, off to work and do a good job, and get my wages, and blessed. But I am going to work on this and try to unravel this little piece of the puzzle too, because this was a financial hit, done purposely. And I just don't know who chose me, Sherry. Like, I don't want you to have a degree. I don't want you to have a degree. Somebody obviously set it in motion purposely. Purposely. It was done with a purpose. And it wasn't done once and, oh my gosh, I'm sorry. It was done continuously. And even when the situation could be remedied, it still wasn't remedied. So maybe, the powers that be, maybe if somebody has a heart here and somebody has a sense of justice, they can turn around, and kind of fix this. Because then I wonder too, like, all that money that was spent, on the taxpayers, they were paying for this, just for somebody's vendetta or somebody's grudge to be carried out. Or what, the guinea pig program? They wanted me more for medical testing than they wanted me to fulfill my degree. Well, what about all the money then? What about is there like a forgiveness thing, or what's going to go on? Right? Financially, I'm saying. This was the taxpayers' money and my hard work and time, and, all for nothing. But again, we're in a very, if you notice the happenings of the world, I'm not going to complain, because there's a lot more going on than, this type of stuff. There's big things happening. I get that. That doesn't escape me. I'm very in tune. So, but yeah, I still like to find out about that. So as long as we still have, democracy and a government that's working more or less, I'm going to try to find out about this and try to maybe remedy the situation, because why not utilize somebody at their fullest potential rather than, not? Why should the taxpayers have to pay because that one person had a grudge? And not being funny, but that one person, whoever it was, who decided to pull the strings. And this was, I feel like I need to say this, because you never know, we always tend to blame leaders, which so oftentimes it can be the leaders, or it's people who went to the leaders and opened up their mouths and got the leaders involved. But again, my targeting, if you remember, goes back more than the current leaders. Okay, I know at least the governor in our state is brand new. I think he's only been in 2 years now. So this was happening way before then. Same thing with the presidency. Whoever, the one in power now was not the one in power when my targeting started. So just wondering if there's any way that we can address this, because of one person's desire for, revenge, or not even revenge, just for to hurt me. So taxpayers should be out of their money, thousands of dollars, really? Doesn't seem right, but let's see. Let's find out. I'm going to do some digging. So I'm tired too. Just for a little bit of the puzzles. Whenever I go to sleep, my neighbors have a machine and they are running it on me. I don't know how close these neighbors are. It sounds like they're right up in the attic if I didn't know any better. So for some reason, this machine runs. I wonder if it's some military type weapon. It feels, obviously it is, it's for military, it's for the enemy, like, prevent the enemy from sleeping, record their brain. I mean, I'm not an enemy, I'm just trying to go to work. What are you talking about? Like, you feel like you're with one of those crazy people that keeps calling, like, are you the Viet Cong? Like, no, I'm not I'm not an enemy. What are you talking about? Nobody is doing espionage where I'm just living a simple life, a very simple life, you know? Um, but yeah, somebody gave these people some military grade weaponry and they are using it. That's why you got to wonder too, is it the police department? Is it, um, somebody? But it's illegal. Last I checked, I don't think just because you don't like somebody or just because you feel some type of way doesn't mean you can run a machine on them. A energy weapon machine. I don't know. Maybe I got to check the law books, but maybe what do they think? They're like, oh, well, it's invisible, right? Uh, but then how would you feel if somebody did it to you? You know? How would that be if we live in a society where there's no laws on direct energy weapons, so we just all start using them on each other? Oh, that neighbor gave me a dirty look. Oh, I don't know. A through Z, humans, we're funny. We can get ruffled about a lot of stuff. And not to be funny, if somebody did something and they, paid for their crime, then who are you to say, well, I don't think that was enough. I'm going to just do my own justice here. That's called vigilantism. And that's illegal still. Because, imagine if the whole world, that's what, we can't be vigilantes. There's people that are in certain positions that take care of things. There's a structure, there's an order, you know? And I'm not paying twice for something. It's like if I go to the local Walmart and I pay for something and then, they're like, we could have charged more for that. Come back in here. We want to, we're going to, like, no. I paid for it. This was the price, and it's fair, reasonable market rate. It's not like you're getting, something for nothing or getting it for a below market value. I paid for what it's worth. I paid you. I'm done. I got my receipt. I'm done. But in my situation, it's like, oh, we want more. You don't get more. But they've taken it upon themselves to become vigilantes. So that's really what I'm dealing with here. I'm thinking, because if it's just the random neighbors, again, how would they have access to this type of equipment? Okay, vigilantism. Or if it's medical research, that too is illegal. You can't research on me on my brain without my permission, just because you have an energy weapon that is invisible. So I digress. We'll see. So I'm just doing my thing here. Well, you guys have a good day, and I'll explain more later. We'll do these puzzles a little bit because I like to help you too. There's actually a process when you get chosen to be a targeted individual, which is the actual title. It's actually a military term, target, and paramilitary cops and sheriffs and all that. So when you become a targeted individual, TI, that's why I always say hi TIs. You guys know hi TIs. That's what it's referring to. Okay, so but there's a process that they literally go through, they take you through, as you're, they're trying to drive you into, they're doing no touch torture and soft kills and all this. There is the method that they use. And it's listed. They actually have a handbook for oh yeah, just like when they go to war, they have a handbook on how to destroy the enemy. Oh my goodness, yeah. Both physically as well as mentally, PSYOPs. There's a whole branch of military dedicated to PSYOPs, psychological operations, right? Break the soul and break the person, Sometimes you can't always kill the enemy, or it'd be too obvious, or you don't always want to. You want to psychologically torture them, break their soul. There's a method that they use, and I'll break it down at some point. And then I'll give you my little school experience, the specifics of what happened. It was a nightmare. I worked so hard, and then to end up with, to make half of what I would be making. Half. Anyways, no. Onward, right? Onward. Try to fix the problem. All right. Well, you guys have been wonderful. Do your research on, especially on this particular, targeted individuals. Do your research. It's an actual real life term. It's a real life thing that happens. It's kind of the unspoken thing though that happens under the radar. It's not legal, so you're not really supposed to. It's not supposed to be done, but it is. Okay, and there's money to be made off of it, and different entities can be responsible and paying for and sponsoring and in charge of the targeting. Okay, because remember, it's organized. This is not just neighborhood people taking it upon themselves. Because in that case, you could just move and then the problem would be solved. I've moved several times, even out of state, and it still followed me there. And I know I didn't have any relatives or people I knew to the state I moved. So that just tells you it's very organized. And this is okay. So we'll get into that later. But yeah, do your research, and I'll be back and we'll talk. I'll break that down. So in case you recognize any of the signs, also for target individuals, if you're already in the midst of it, it helps to know what their game plan is, right? It helps to know. Sometimes you can't even stop it, but just knowing, like, oh, okay, it makes the psychological damage less, because you know the game. So, all right. So do your research, targeted individuals, and remember that the true God loves us, and this is nothing new. Targeting is actually part of a Christian lifestyle. They say that you're not going to be able to be a Christian and not get targeted, right? You're not just going to be like, oh, I'm a Christian and we all love each other and God is love and, God loved the world so much he gave his only begotten. That's true. That's true. That's all true. But the other side, okay, do not like that. So, it's a spiritual warfare, and even if it's not you against them, it's them against you. Because, right, why? Because you're on the other side. There's people that worship the true God, and there's people that worship his enemy, and serve him. Okay, so knowing that, it's true. So knowing that, why would it be a life without strife? Right? I didn't even try to write. Life with strife, it's to be expected, but it's still, gosh darn, frustrating and saddening. But, we go on, right? All things work out for the good for those who love the true God. Okay. Do your research. True God loves us. Bye, guys. Have a good day.